What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Guys, we back with the World War One series. Got 1915 finally. For some reason, before, kid you not, they were not showing this, and they did have the longer version, which I could have went to and did all that, but I didn't. I'm lazy, didn't want to. But we found a video where it just talks about 1915. So we checking this out. I already done 14 and 16. But yeah, World War One. Getting some more info. Epic History TV. I like their breakdowns. I feel like I understand it a little bit more when it comes to their history.
January 1915. World War I is just 5 months old, and already around 1 million soldiers have fallen.
Oh my goodness.
A war that began in the Balkans has engulfed much of the world. The Central Powers, Germany, Austria-Hungary, and the Ottoman Empire, fight the Allies, Britain, France, Russia, Serbia and Montenegro, Belgium, and Japan. In Poland and the Baltic, the Russian army has suffered a string of massive defeats, but continues to battle German and Austro-Hungarian forces. Austro-Hungarian troops have also suffered huge losses and are humiliated by their failure to defeat Serbia.
Oh, it's the Serbia?
In the Caucasus Mountains, Russian and Ottoman forces fight each other in freezing winter conditions. While on the Western Front,
I felt like Russia they definitely should be skilled in fighting in the winter. They had a lot of battles in the winter, it seems.
Conditions. While on the Western Front, French, British and Belgian troops are dug in facing the Germans, in trenches stretching from the English Channel to Switzerland.
Total war.
As part of the world's first strategic bombing campaign, Germany sends 2 giant airships known as zeppelins to bomb Britain.
Zeppelins? What? I have never seen an aircraft like this. What in the world?
They hit the ports of King's Lynn and Great Yarmouth, damaging houses and killing 4 civilians.
Oh.
At sea, at the Battle of Dogger Bank, the British Navy sinks 1 German cruiser, but the rest of the German squadron escapes.
Hey.
Command of the seas has allowed Britain to impose a naval blockade of Germany, preventing vital supplies, including food, from reaching the country by sea. Germany now retaliates with its own blockade. It declares the waters around the British Isles to be a war zone, where its U-boats will attack Allied merchant ships without warning. Britain relies on imported food to feed its population. Germany plans to starve her into surrender.
That is wild.
On the Eastern Front, German Field Marshal von Hindenburg launches a winter offensive and inflicts another massive defeat on the Russian army at the Second Battle of Masurian Lakes. The Russians lose up to 200,000 men, half of them surrendering amid freezing winter conditions.
The winter gotta be different because, of course, I've seen what happened in the Cold War. They just talked about a war down there in, very cold conditions. I've seen Russia before in the winter. It seemed like it's very cold. But they were not prepared to fight in those conditions.
The Russians have more success against Austria-Hungary. The city of Przemysl falls after a 4-month siege, netting the Russians 100,000 prisoners. Austria-Hungary's total losses now reach 2 million. Meanwhile, the British and French send warships to the Dardanelles to threaten Constantinople, capital of the Turkish Ottoman Empire. They believe a show of force will quickly cause Turkey to surrender. They bombard Turkish shore forts in the narrow straits. but 3 battleships are sunk by mines and 3 more damaged. The attack is called off.
Trench deadlock.
On the Western Front, the British attack at Neuve-Chapelle. But the advance is soon halted by German barbed wire and machine guns. British and Indian units suffer 11,000 casualties, about a quarter of the attacking force. 6 weeks later, at the Second Battle of Ypres, the Germans attack with poison gas for the first time on the Western Front. A cloud of lethal chlorine forces Allied troops to abandon their trenches. But the Germans don't have enough reserves ready to exploit the advantage. Soldiers on...
Dang, you said poisonous gas. Dang, that's different. That is different. I've never heard. That's why I said in school we talked about World War One, but I feel like we talked mostly about World War Two. We talked about it. I've talked about World War One briefly, very briefly, because some of these things I'm hearing, it is some new information.
Ready to exploit the advantage. Soldiers on both sides are quickly supplied with crude gas masks as a chemical weapon.
Those ain't gonna. That helped? Can't. On the right, that's like a regular mask. The other ones, now those, I ain't got a good view on those masks, but and if that helped,
begins.
That's what helped. Whatever helped.
The Allies land ground troops at Gallipoli, including men of the Australian and New Zealand Army Corps, the Anzacs. Their goal is to take out the shore forts that are preventing Allied warships reaching Constantinople. But they immediately meet fierce Turkish resistance and are pinned down close to the shore. The day before the landings, the Ottoman Empire begins the systematic deportation and murder of ethnic Armenians living within its borders.
Whoa.
The Armenians are a long-persecuted ethnic and religious minority, suspected of supporting Turkey's enemies. Tens of thousands of men, women and children are transported to the Syrian desert and left to die.
Wow.
In all, more than 1 million Armenians perish. The Allies condemn the events as a crime against humanity and civilization and promise to hold the perpetrators criminally responsible. To this day, the Turkish government disputes the death toll and that these events constituted a genocide.
That was wild.
On the Eastern Front, a joint German Austro-Hungarian offensive in Galicia breaks through Russian defences, recapturing Przemysl and taking 100,000 prisoners. It is the beginning of a steady advance.
This is the second time I heard them say they. Now, what do they do with these prisoners? Do they just 100,000
against
alive?
Russian forces? At
They
sea,
just put them somewhere
the British passenger
in camp?
liner Lusitania, sailing from New York to Liverpool, is torpedoed by a German U-boat off the coast of Ireland without warning.
Dang.
1,198 passengers and crew perish, including 128 Americans. US President Woodrow Wilson and the American public are outraged. But Germany insists the liner was a fair target, as the British used her to carry military supplies.
Wow,
in May,
they done sneaked
the
on them,
Allies
snug
launched
'em.
the Second Battle of Artois, in another effort to break through the German lines. The French make the main attack at Vimy Ridge, while the British launch supporting attacks at Aubert Ridge and Festubert. The Allies sustain 130,000 casualties and advance just a few thousand yards.
Wow.
That summer, above the Western Front, the Fokker Eindecker helps Germany win control of the air. It's one of the first aircraft with a machine gun able to fire forward through its propeller.
Okay, now I've seen a couple of these. This was a game changer
Thanks
right
to
here.
a new invention known as interrupter gear. Allied aircraft losses mount rapidly in what becomes known as the Fokker scourge.
Italy. The Italians are
Italy,
coming.
swayed by British and French promises of territorial gains at Austria-Hungary's expense, joins the Allies, declaring war on Austria-Hungary and later the Ottoman Empire and Germany. The Italian army makes its first assault against Austro-Hungarian positions along the Isonzo River, but is repulsed with heavy losses. Meanwhile, the Allies face a crisis on the
They done joined the war and taking L's.
Meanwhile, the Allies face a crisis on the Eastern Front. The Russians have begun a general retreat, abandoning Poland. German troops enter Warsaw on the 5th of August. Tsar Nicholas II dismisses the Russian army's commander-in-chief, Grand Duke Nicholas, and takes personal command.
Wait a minute, so if I'm looking at my map correctly, all of this right here is Poland? If I'm thinking about my map, because I thought Poland is right by Germany, so we got a little bit...
Chief Grand Duke Nicholas, and takes personal command. It will prove disastrous for the Tsar, as he becomes more and more closely tied to Russian military defeat. At Gallipoli, the Allies land reinforcements at Suvla Bay, but neither they nor a series of fresh attacks by the Anzacs can break the deadlock. Conditions for both sides are terrible. Troops are tormented not only by the enemy, but by heat, flies, and sickness.
That would be horrible.
In the Atlantic, a German U-boat sinks the liner SS Arabic. 44 are lost, including 3 Americans. In response to further US warnings, Germany ends all attacks on passenger ships.
Yo, America was pissed.
On the Western Front, the Allies mount their biggest offensive of the war so far, designed to smash through the front and take pressure off their beleaguered Russian ally. The French attack in the 3rd Battle of Artois and 2nd Battle of Champagne. The British, with the help of poison gas, attack at Loos.
I can't believe they used that poison gas, man. That changes everything.
Despite initial gains, the attacks soon get bogged down, with enormous losses on all sides.
Dang.
Allied
French and
troops
German
land
lost a
at
lot.
Salonika in Greece to open a new front against the Central Powers and bring aid to Serbia. But the Allies are too late. Bulgaria joins the Central Powers, and their joint offensive overruns Serbia in 2 months.
Dang.
That winter, the remnants of the Serbian army escape through the Albanian mountains. Their losses are horrific. By the end of the war, a third of Serbia's army has been killed, the highest proportion of any nation.
Dang. They done came and jumped Serbia.
Fierce fighting continues on the Italian front, as Italian troops launch the 3rd and 4th battles of the Isonzo. Austro-Hungarian forces, though outnumbered, are dug in on the high ground and impossible to dislodge.
2 months.
In the Middle East, a British advance on Baghdad is blocked by Turkish forces at the Battle of Ctesiphon, 25 miles south of the city. The British withdraw to Kut, where they are besieged. The Allies abandon the Gallipoli campaign. 83,000 troops are secretly evacuated without alerting Turkish forces.
Dang.
Not a man is lost.
They said we getting out of here. Ain't no
alerting
way we getting
Turkish
up out of
forces.
here.
Not a man is lost. It's one of the best
blame 'em.
executed plans of the war. The
Sometimes you do.
campaign has
You just gotta
cost
get out
both
of there.
sides 250,000 casualties.
Ooh.
1915 is a bad year for the Allies. Enormous losses for no tangible gains. But there is no talk of peace. Instead,
yet.
all sides prepare for even bigger offensives in 1916, with new tactics developed from earlier failures. All sides still believe a decisive battlefield victory is within grasp.
Yeah, 1915.
Epic.
Yeah, this was a different game changer right here. Yeah. Man, it's just amazing to me, like all these battles that just go on within the year. Wow. Like these are battles I've never heard of. Like I feel like we heard of like certain major battles. Like I said, we have heard of World War. Of course, what we talk about different things, but I can say epic history, they break it down. They actually break it down to the point we get in word for word. We get in the whole play-by-play. We got the whole playbook right here, what happened in 1915 when it comes in regards to battles and wars and stuff like that. We got the whole playbook. So that's why I like these videos, because open my mind. I get to see and hear, also get a visual of different things that were, in regards to these wars that went on in the history. Like I said, we got 1915 here. Poland is basically seemed like it's a part of Russia at this point too, and I've done a little bit of history on Poland, and they've been through a lot. Poland been through a lot, but yet they here, they remain, they fought. I just seen a comment, somebody said, we fight for what we need, what we want. We fight for it. We just don't ask for it. We fight for it. But that's all I have for this video. Hope y'all enjoy this. Like I said, I did 16, I did 14, so now I'm gonna jump to 17 after this and try to continue from there. See how many more I can continue on with when it comes to World War One. Then I can get into World War Two, which I know a good amount of stuff about it. I wouldn't say epic history break it down so much. Like I know it's gonna be some things that I missed. I'm definitely gonna create a history playlist so y'all can add some different videos for me to check out. Yeah, they have some good stories. Very easy to understand. They break it down. So, but y'all hit that subscribe button, send down those recommendations, and y'all be blessed, be the best, and be you. I'm out.